everyone. I've been guided to come back on and just talk about twin flames and patience. So, for those of you who may be already in that connection with a twin flame, or those of you who just feel that there's a twin flame out there for you, and perhaps you're connecting with someone on the 5D at the moment, but not in the 3D. Whatever your situation, if you feel you are a twin flame, you must learn to accept and acknowledge that patience is key. It's one of the biggest lessons other than unconditional love. And the thing is, with twin flames, there's many hurdles, there's many reasons you've come to sort of unite together, to go on this journey together, to learn and grow. So there will be many aspects, and those reasons for coming here to expand and learn are different for each individual and each twin flame connection. So those of you who are here predominantly to learn about patience, you may have other people who are here to learn about healing wounds, um whatever it may be. There is some crossover there, so everybody will have wounds they need to heal. They will also need to learn about patience. I mean, I'm being quite sort of simple here with the points. There's many, but the main thing to help you on this journey at this moment in time is to respect that it takes time and it will only happen in divine timing. Now, those of you who are divine feminines, for many of you, you are the main sort of awake twin, you are the spiritual person, you are connected, and you're aware of what's going on. For many of the masculines, they may still be asleep, unawakened, and not fully aware, or just in those early stages of awakening. It can obviously be reversed. Not everybody who's a feminine is awakened. Um, Regardless of which position you fall into, understand that that other person needs to come to a level of understanding within their own time. They cannot be pushed, they cannot be rushed, and you have to trust and surrender that things unfold as they're meant to. So as much as you want to share all of your knowledge, everything you've learned, and get them to understand it and feel it and say, yes, I feel it too, and yes, I know, I am at the same place, or I've been there, and you're looking and you're seeking that validation externally within them, instead of just knowing and accepting and trusting what is real for you. And the thing is, for them on their journey, they have to do it when they are ready. If you're pushing information onto your twin before they're ready to receive it, it simply will not be heard. It will be lost, it will evaporate, it will disappear, and it will be a waste of your energy and a waste of theirs as well, for having to sort of face something like that or run from something like that. So trust that their soul, your soul as a collective, will come together and guide them as and when they are ready to receive that information and that knowledge. you know you wouldn't want to sort of get to a place in your connection where you've come together and you may have said all these wonderful, deep, meaningful words of love and affirmation for one another, and confirmed those feelings, for then your twin to panic and run because they've been triggered by something. And that is what happens all the time. It's separation and running and the chase, and that is the dynamic. That's how we evolve and we propel ourselves forward, and we get to where we need to be. We work through the baggage and the emotions and the things we need to heal, and push ourselves through. That's the challenge. That is why we're here. But you wouldn't want to get to that point before it was time, if you know what I mean. So don't force your twin to be someone that they're not ready to be yet. Don't try and push them to awaken before they're ready, because if they're forced and if they're not prepared, if they haven't gone through some of the healing that's needed to be in that place and understand it truthfully and stand in it authentically, then they will just panic and run. It will feel out of resonance, it will feel alarming. The fear will be too great, and they will panic and they will run a mile. Whereas if you give them time to work through that journey within their own time, in divine timing, they have then had time to reflect, they've had time to sit with their emotions, to get their head around things. They have had the time to do their own inner learning and to sort of acknowledge signs, synchronicities themselves, instead of you saying, well, have you seen this sign? Have you seen this? Have you read this book? Have you, instead of you planting all the seeds, it's their soul talking to them. It is their higher self coming forward and saying, look at this. Oh, isn't that odd? And if it's coming from them within, they've got far more chance of believing it. They've also got time to process it. They've got time to, unravel it and unpick it and understand it at their own pace. And that then for them is within their comfort zone. And okay, some of it may be alarming, some of it may go off the charts, and it may blow their mind, and that may indeed make them run anyway. But when they are ready to come back to that and to feel into it and to try and understand and learn understand what's going on here, they have the reins there. They have control over the situation, and they're less likely to run. Whereas if you're forcing something, if you're trying to get them up to speed and to get them where you're at now, when you're impatient about it, you want it yesterday, that's just going to scare them. That's going to intimidate them. It's going to overwhelm them. It's going to put them off, and they're going to get defensive. They're going to retreat. They're going to hide away. They're going to ghost you. They're going to push you aside because it's too much to bear. Even if they know that what you're saying resonates on some level, even if they know there's truths there, even if they have seen signs and they do feel it and they know that something here is different, they're not going to face it until they're ready and they're in control and they're comfortable with that. And as I've said in an earlier reading there, it takes courage to do that. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to face your own inner demons, to sit with yourself. And simply that, just to sit with yourself in silence and just simply be and feel the energies coming in and out of your body. So if you're putting additional sort of stress on them by overloading them with information or your feelings or your expression of love, sometimes that is just too much. They've got enough going on that they're trying to deal with without having to deal with what you're sort of projecting onto them as well. So I feel that it's really important just to acknowledge that they need to do this in their own time. They need to have control of their journey, and you need to respect that you have no control over how long it's going to take for this to unfold for them. You need to focus on yourself, your part of it, and be at ease with who you are and where you're at. And also as well, if you look back at your journey so far and what's happened, and for many of you I feel that this could have gone on for some time, you have come very far, and that is something to be proud of. But just remember where you started and at which point you started to awaken to certain signs, synchronicities, dreams, messages, your guides, whatever it may have been. Think back to when that was and how much has changed in that time and how far you have come, because they may be only at the beginning of that journey. They may be 3-4 years behind you. There could be 6 months behind you. There could be 10 years behind you, and people move at different speeds as well. So even if they are 10 years behind you, don't be straight away thinking, oh, this is never going to work. We're never going to get to a point where we're in alignment, because things for you may slow down. You may have a period where you're just content with how things are, and you've gained a great amount of understanding. You're comfortable, you're satisfied, and you're happy living your life. You're happy doing you. That might be the point where they accelerate. They are pushing for something greater, and they are ready to dive deep and really, really go to their limit, So there may be a point at some point where things balance out. So don't rule it out. It is all about alignment. But they need to align for themselves. They need to come to this decision or this awareness, this point of being, this moment where they're ready to transform and transcend when it is time for them, not when it's time for you. That is your path. And yes, these paths will intersect at some point. That is the whole purpose of coming into union. But at some point they drift again as well. You come in and out. You go in and out of separation for a reason, because at certain stages you need to be in separate places to be learning at different speeds, or perhaps about learning about different things, uncovering different wounds, processing. And as much as it seems that the whole purpose is to get everything together, It's not always straight away. It really isn't. So you have to respect the fact that this takes time. Give them some space, give them some time, and allow them to see their own magic just like you saw it for yourself. If you can think back to when you first started piecing this together and you first realised this was something more, this was something more powerful, and then think to where you are now, it may seem like a lifetime ago since you had those thoughts. Let them have their moment. Let them have that own magical journey unfold around them. Let them feel shocked, in awe, like almost spellbound. Allow that to come from them. Allow them to sit with those feelings, to process them, to try and make sense out of them. Don't give them all the answers. No, but nobody's done that for you. You may have found the right teachers or the right books to sort of help make some sense out of it. Let them find their own. You are two individual human beings who are going through this spiritual experience, and as a soul, your soul will guide you to see different aspects. And bearing in mind that your mirrors, what you're experiencing is reflected in them, yes, and likewise, but it's usually different sides. It can quite often be the opposite. So they may find a spiritual teacher who is somebody that you've never heard of, or they may read a book that it's news to you. Allow them to do that, because in truth that will teach you something on a soul level. All those things you have already experienced have helped to grow them already, and you may think, well, they're not awakened, they haven't changed, or they're ghosting me, they're not in communication, they're not understanding of this connection. Okay, in the physical it may not be evident yet, they may not be standing up and admitting to it, but something within them is changing deeply. And the more you learn and the more you focus on yourself, the more that moves them forwards, and then their soul will have chance to do it for them also, which with in turn helps you. So whatever they're doing in their time, whatever you're giving them space to work through, will help to grow and expand you also. So do your own thing. Don't expect them to feel exactly the same way. Don't expect them to have exactly the same experiences. And yes, there may be some similarities. That is bound to happen on this journey. And at some point, you'll get to a point where you can exchange those experiences, you can discuss it, and you'll realize, how much power that held for you in that moment, even though you may have felt alone, even though you may have perhaps only been connected with each other in the 5D, and you might have craved that 3D confirmation so badly. One day that day will come, and it will have so much more strength because you have worked through it on your own. You have done it with your twin's higher self, not the 3D. You have done it, and you have found yourself. You have grounded in that moment, and you have understood what has happened. You have watched it unfold. You have made sense out of it, and you have manifested a better life for yourself because you have grown through that experience. People are there to support one another and help each other unpack their own stuff, their own baggage. But if you can find the strength to do a lot of that yourself, it will propel you forwards. It will accelerate things far quicker. You will have immense strength, and you will just see things more beautifully. Things will be powerful. Allow them to have that power too. Allow them to know that they can do this, that as well. And I feel that for many of the masculines, even if perhaps they show up as ghosting, avoidant, denial, cold, whatever it may be, out of fear, they may be defending themselves, they may be protected, but they see your light, they see your strength, they see your beauty. They are absolutely mesmerized by you, and they know that this is something far greater than anything they've ever experienced. Allow them to see a glimpse of that in themselves, because no matter what the ups and downs, there are times when you know yourself that you are enough, you are powerful, you are magical, you are all those things, and you know that they are too, because you already see that. So allow them to see that within themselves, for themselves, without being told. Allow it to just come forwards. Allow them to have the space to heal and to grow, and then to visualize and to receive that evidence. Okay, I hope that made some sense for you. I know it's a bit of a strange one, but it really is about trust. It's about being trusting of the journey, how it unfolds, that it will unfold as and when it needs to. Um, and to be patient and respectful of that. Don't force the connection. Don't push them to fit into a shoe that isn't meant for them, that doesn't fit. You know, if they're in that position, they're going to feel cramped, they're going to feel suffocated, they're going to feel trapped. It's not going to feel comfortable. They're going to feel uneasy, they're going to feel pressured. Things will get heavy, it will start to feel like a burden. There's too much pain there. Allow them to find their own shoe, allow them to find their own space, to get comfortable with who they are, with what's unfolding, with how they're feeling. And just know that when they are at ease with that, when they have gained some awareness, and I say some because this journey is ongoing, we can never fully understand what's happening. You know, things can change in any given moment. That's the beauty of it as souls. You know, we are a universal source of energy, and things can flit about all over the place. The world out there is vast as a soul. So who knows from day to day what we are going to experience. But if in that moment they are understanding something for themselves, then that is power for them. They are transcending, they are growing, and they are creating some level of awareness. And that's not coming from you, it's coming from themselves. So then they trust it, they know it, they believe it. And from there, they can come to you in divine timing. And when they do share their feelings with you, you know it's real. You know that you haven't pressured them to say it before they needed to. You haven't put words in their mouth. You haven't influenced them in any way. They are coming to you to share that because they know it is true for them. And they are happy and confident. They are comfortable with their authenticity. They are proud to be who they are and to feel the way they feel. They are accepting of themselves and the connection. Okay, thanks for listening. I'll speak soon. Bye.